And we are going to get going. So today we are doing a full body strength workout. We are going to be doing 40 seconds of work. We're going to rest for 15 seconds between each exercise. We're going to do one lap through all 7 exercises, and we're going to repeat them 4 times. So we'll do exercise 1 once, then move to 2, 3, 4, and so on. We'll take a little water break between each round. So 4 rounds, maybe a 5th round. We'll see how we're all feeling. I have a few different weighted dumbbells here. I have a 12, a 17, and a 30. For those of you before that have seen me take a 30, I did not even pick it up once. So we'll see how this goes. Crystal's are a little bit heavier. Crystal personal trains with me. She's going to far exceed my strength pretty soon. So she is here to be my demo. So she is going to actually be demoing each exercise, and I am going to just tell you what we're doing today. So we're going to be doing a shoulder rack squat to begin. So you're bringing the dumbbells up to your shoulder like Crystal's doing here. Your feet are hip width apart. You can turn those toes out on that slight angle, makes room for our hips. We're going to sink down, bending through the knees, bum lowers. Good job. So we're keeping those dumbbells on the shoulder. For those of you that have a little bit of issues here, you can hold them by your side if you would rather that. Okay. Then we're going to be going into a Romanian deadlift. So legs followed by a little bit more legs. So you're going to hold either 2 dumbbells or 1 really heavy dumbbell. And this is a hinge motion. So what I want you to do is keep a slight bend to your knees. Your knees are hip width apart. Crystal, put your toes or feet in a little bit closer. Yeah, slight bend to your knees. And what Crystal's doing is she's just bending forward, sending her bum back and coming back up. Hips come forward. Good. So slight bend to your knees, bum pushes back, coming all the way back up. What I don't want to see is you reaching through your arms. So Crystal, come into a side view one more time. Good job. So Crystal's arms are staying locked in. She is not falling like this. Come down again, fall out of your shoulders. There you go. See, she's getting that length from her arms versus having that nice tight core, just coming into that hinge, really feeling that stretch and elongating through the hamstrings and glutes. From there, we're coming into a prone chest press. So just laying on your back. So getting a set of dumbbells, 1 in either hand, coming all the way down to your back. Your knees can stay bent, feet flat on the floor. This is going to just help you stabilize through the core a little bit more. There you go. And we're going to be pressing those dumbbells up and together, coming back down. So the floor is just helping you not come a little bit too low. Good job. Nice. All right, coming back up, Crystal, into that tabletop. We're coming right into that tabletop row. So shoulders are stacked directly over your wrists, hips are over the knees here, core is pulled in nice and tight, and you're gonna row 1 dumbbell up at a time, elbows coming back towards the hip. We're gonna alternate here. Good job. Crystal, flip to the side. And you can also come into a plank if you want to do renegade rows. It's a little bit harder. If you're in a plank, core stays tight. Try not to sway the hips, and you're rowing that dumbbell up towards your hip. Good job. Drop your knees, Crystal. Do 1 more tabletop on the side view. Good. So this is your alternate exercise here. Good job. And then we're coming into a Z press. So this is a shoulder press. You're going to come into a nice wide-legged stance. Get your foundational base here. Legs are active, so feet are flexed towards the face. Dumbbells are at a shoulder rack here, and we're pressing straight up. Good. We're keeping a narrow press. Nice. Core stays nice and tight here. All right, perfect. Then we are coming into sumo squat. So a little bit more legs, a nice wide-legged stance. Get a heavy dumbbell if you have one. Toes are still turned out on that angle. We're sinking the glutes down, keeping the arms straight. Come back up. Good job. So we're staying here. Lastly, we are coming into a plank hold. That is all we're doing. This is our core for today. Shoulders are stacked over wrists. You can bring your feet nice and wide if you would like to get a little bit more stability. Pull that navel in towards the spine. Good. And I don't want to see you collapsing through your shoulders. So pushing the floor away with your palms. Good job. All right, so this is what we're doing today. Let's warm up. Crystal's warm. Feels nice to not be out of breath while I demo. So that's great. Thank you, Crystal. All right, so let's just come into a little bit of torso rotations, get ourselves ready. So we're working for 40 seconds. The good thing about having the timer set is that you can work at your own pace. You're not following a rep count of mine. So you're able to take a tiny little break if you need to. All right, good. Let's come into a nice wide leg here. Opposite hand reaches for those toes. Good. Come back up. We're going to bring those knees out 90 degrees. Come back in with that knee. Working on a little bit of mobility in our hips. Getting ready for all those squats. And let's switch sides. Good. So this is a low impact class. We're not doing any cardio. Your heart rate will still be up though. Nice. Let's come into just some body weight squats here. And you can do the majority of these movements if you'd like with just body weight. You don't have to have dumbbells here. For 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, we're gonna get ready. We're gonna get right into it. So it's gonna count us down before each exercise. I'll tell us what we're doing. So we're coming into those shoulder rack squats first. You have 10 seconds to pick up your dumbbells. Again, you can have them down by your side if this is more comfortable. Up here in that shoulder rack position, a little bit harder. All right, 40 seconds on the clock here. Use that exhale breath to come out of your squat. Think nice and low. I want a slower pace here. Slow and with control. Try not to use momentum. Get that mind-muscle connection going. We're halfway through. Good job. Keep that core engaged. Make sure you're breathing. 3, 2, and rest. Good job. We're coming right into that deadlift. You can have 1 heavy one, 2 lighter ones. Crystal has a nice heavy dumbbell. I'm going to hold 2 here. So I'm just going to track these dumbbells right down my leg, sticking my bum back, coming into that hinge position. Good job. So I have control of where my dumbbells are going. They're not coming way out in front of me, which is going to put a lot of strain on my core and lower back. Nice. Use that exhale to come up. Core stays engaged. Shoulders aren't reaching too far out of their socket. Really feeling that stretch to the back of the leg. For 2, and rest. Good. Coming into that prone chest press. We're on our back, grabbing for your dumbbells. Knees can stay bent. We're going to start in the raised position with those dumbbells. And we are working. Press those dumbbells up and together. Good. Find a little squeeze for the pecs. Make sure you're breathing. Use that exhale for your push. You want to bring a little bit more challenge in for your core. Lift those feet up off the ground. Keep that lower back grounding down at the same time. Good. Keep going. And rest. Coming right up into our tabletop. So these are for our alternating rows. You can come into a plank if you'd like. I want you to really focus on keeping that core nice and engaged, and you're rowing 1 arm at a time back towards your hip. Dumbbells aren't coming up towards your shoulders. If you'd like to start out for maybe the first round in the renegade rows like Crystal, then drop down into the tabletop. Make sure you're challenging yourself. Make sure you're breathing. Good job. And rest. We have 15 seconds of a rest. Coming into a seated position, legs are wide. This is our base, core is engaged. Coming into our Z press, working our shoulders. Dumbbells are shoulder racked, pressing up. Core remains in nice and tight. Helping with our stability and strength here. Exhale to push up, inhale to lower. You need to take a little break, rest if you need to. You don't need to go super heavy on shoulders. You have 10 seconds, keep going. Definitely starting to burn. And rest. Good job. We are coming into those sumo squats. Grabbing for a nice heavy dumbbell. You're holding the handle here. Feet are nice and wide, toes turn out, sinking those hips down and back up. I want to see those thighs parallel to the ground. We're halfway. Good. Make sure you're breathing, 10 seconds. We have one more exercise after this. Then we're gonna take that little water break and rest. Good job, guys. Let's head into our plank. If you need to take a modified plank, start in full plank first, and then drop your knees. Do not cross your ankles. We're holding here for 40 seconds. Make sure you're breathing. Don't sink through the shoulders. We're gazing right between our hands. We're not going to put any strain on our neck. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good job. Almost done. 40 seconds, plank hold 4 times. Gonna get nice and challenging. And rest. Good job, guys. Let's grab a little sip of water. Then we're gonna do that entire circuit again. So hitting all our body parts here, our legs, our chest, our back, our shoulders, our core, really working to strengthen our entire body. And because we're doing it circuit style, it does allow for our heart rate to become elevated. So you are going to get a little bit of endurance work here while we work to put on that lean muscle. All right, we're going to take another 10, 15 seconds to make sure you have that water. Make sure you have your weight. Make sure you're feeling good and ready for round 2. All right, Crystal, you ready? Yeah. Z presses are killing Crystal over here. All right, so 10 seconds on the clock, getting ready for those shoulder rack squats. Again, you can keep your dumbbells down here and we're squatting down. Good job. Use that exhale to come out of the squat. Core stays engaged, sinking through the hips, bending those knees. Almost done this round. 10 seconds left. Good job. for 3, 2, and rest. All right, coming into those deadlifts, our RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, getting your heavy weight. And we're gonna come into that hinge motion. This is all this movement is a nice hinge. Knees are slightly bent. We're gonna stick our bum back, core stays in. Good. So you're hinging forward, sending those hips forward as we rise. Good job. Keep that core nice and tight. We have 15 more seconds on the clock. Keep moving. Let's get one more rep in. And rest. Coming back onto our back with our dumbbell for our chest press. If you have something like a Bosu ball, you can even do an incline press, shoulders and head down on that Bosu. Bring a little elevation. Good job. Exhale to press. Working those chest muscles. Good job. Crystal's bringing more core into it. Make sure your lower back is pressing down. Imagine that navel pressing all the way through your body towards the ground. Good job. Almost done. And rest. Coming right up into your plank or your tabletop, whichever variation of rows you're choosing. I'm really making sure my core is nice and stable here. So I'm choosing the tabletop version and just working on driving the dumbbell and my elbows towards my hips, squeezing that shoulder blade back and together. My gaze is staying down. I want my spine in one nice line. Keep going. Nice strong back here. Use your breath. We're still working our core in some of these moves. And rest. Good job. Right into those Z presses. I'm using 12 dumbbells for these. Still very challenging. Crystal has some 15s. And we are working 40 seconds here. Good job. These are tough, especially after some chest, some rows. Just take a little pause between if you need to. Don't compromise your form. Take a little rest because we are working for that time. We're not really focusing on rep count. We have 5 seconds. Let's get one more in. Push and rest. Good job. Coming up to standing. Getting ready for those heavy sumos. Working some of our inner thighs here, our glutes, our quads. Come into that nice wide-legged stance. Turn your toes out, bend those knees, sink the glutes down. Arms stay nice and long, holding that weight. Good. Round 2 is almost over. Remember, you can make this as challenging as you'd like by increasing your load. If you don't have heavier dumbbells, you can go for a tempo, maybe counting to 4 on the descent, coming back up in a 1 count. You can pause at the bottom. All little ways to make these workouts a little bit more challenging. And rest. Coming into our plank hold. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your wrists here, joint over joint. Step those feet back and 40 seconds on the clock. Make sure you're breathing. Good job. Core stays in. Don't sink through that lower back. A nice line all the way from the heels to the hips to the shoulders. If you need to drop your knees, you can. If you'd like to make this even more challenging, come into a bear hold. And rest. Good job, guys. Grab some water, let your heart rate come down. A good way to know if you're not challenging yourself enough is if you're not feeling a little bit out of breath. These workouts should really push you. So whether or not you need to grab a little bit heavier weight, you need to work with tempo, you need to work with some pauses. Make sure you're challenging yourself. That's the only way to grow. That's the only way to see those body composition changes, which most women are trying to accomplish, whether it's putting on lean muscle to get nice and shapely, to boost your metabolism, or whether it's to burn body fat. Strength training definitely is the way to go. Everyone thinks it's cardio, cardio, cardio. Not the case. Pick up those heavy weights, really challenge yourself. Even if you're only able to get, 6 to 8 reps in, still nice and challenging. You can see I'm out of breath. Crystal's working up a sweat. We don't have a crazy amount of weight here, but we have enough weight that it's going to challenge us. Okay, so we are gonna come back into round 3. So starting with that shoulder rack squat. So when you're ready, coming back up to your feet, 40 seconds back on the clock here, grabbing for your weight. Shoulder rack is just letting those dumbbells sit up on your shoulders. Nice strong wrist here. Bring those feet a little wider than hip width. Your toes can turn out on a slight little angle. Make room for your hips to sink down, bending through those knees. Chest stays lifted. And of course, you're focusing on movement and breath connection. Exhale to push up. Inhale, sink down. That's the easy part. Harder to come back up out of your squat. We have 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Good job coming into our deadlift. All right. Second exercise of round 3. Feet are hip width apart. Slight bend to those knees. Fold forward. Come into that hinge. I really want you to feel that stretch all the way down your hamstrings, your glutes. Core is in, nice and tight. You might even feel this in the lower back, depending on how heavy you're going. Lower back working here as well. This is an entire posterior chain exercise, meaning the whole back body is working. Let's get one more rep in for 2 and 1 rest. Heavy weight down, coming back onto our back for our chest press. Grabbing those dumbbells. We're in that prone position on our back. Feet can stay on the ground, or you can elevate your heels. Bring those knees to a 90-degree angle, knees stacked over hips. Just brings a little bit more core into this exercise. And we're breathing. We have rows up next. Then we have those Z presses. Good job. Keep going all the way to the end. Take a little break if you need to. Really push and challenge. And right into our tabletop. Okay. Tabletop or plank for renegade rows here. Grab a dumbbell set that's going to challenge you. Elbow back towards the hip, core stays in. Try not to sway those hips if you're in a plank. We're gazing down. We don't want to strain our neck. Good. Make sure you're breathing here. Less than 10 seconds. And rest. All right, we know what's here. Those Z presses. These are nice and hard because you can't use any momentum from your legs to press these dumbbells up like you can if you're doing a standing shoulder press. So it's that exhale that's going to drive the dumbbells up. Core is in, try not to lean back. Stack those shoulders directly over your hips. Take a little break if you need to. 40 seconds is a long time on the clock for shoulder press. Good job. 15 left. Keep going. 5 seconds. Let's get one more in. Good. And rest. Right into those sumos. Up on your feet. Grab that heavy dumbbell. You're bringing a nice wide stance here. Toes turn out, sinking down. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Nice. Try to get those glutes down nice and low. 10 seconds left. For 3, 2, and rest. Good job. Right into our plank. You have the option to do a bear hold if you need a little bit more challenge here. If 40-second planks are too easy for you, woo, come into that bear hold. Step those feet back. We're in our plank. Either position, your core is very engaged here. Pull it in, nice and tight. Make sure you're breathing. Keep going, keep going. We have less than 10. And rest. Good job. If your wrists are really feeling that, you can roll them a few times. Shake them out. It only gets easier on the wrist the more you do. Grab your water. Let's take a little break here. Let that heart rate come down. Mine's quite elevated. Woo. We have one more round to go. Then we will cool down. We'll stretch. We'll get back into that rest and digest part of our nervous system before we carry on with our Saturday. Hopefully everybody's feeling good. You ready for round 4? And round 4, this is our last one here. All right, heart rate coming down. Let's get back up on our feet. We're gonna go right into those shoulder rack squats or holding the dumbbells at your side, whichever you prefer. Maybe start with that shoulder rack. It's a little bit tougher. Then drop the dumbbells to your side as you need to. All right. 3, 2, and 1. We are in round 4. So for these squats, our feet are just a little wider than hip width. We're sinking down nice and low, slow and controlled movement. Good job. Keep going, 15 more seconds. We never have to see this shoulder rack squat again today in this workout. Keep going, Crystal. And rest. Coming into those deadlifts. Let's go. Grabbing for that heavy dumbbell, a set of dumbbells, however you like to come into your deadlift. This time, feet are only hip width. Slight bend to those knees. Push that bum back as you fold forward, core stays in. Back to center. Exhale to come back up. Slow and controlled here. I really want you to feel that stretch down the back of your legs. Keep going. We have 10 seconds left. 3, 2, and rest. Coming into our pushes and our pulls. Starting them off with our chest press. So we are pushing that weight away from us. And a horizontal press. All right, pressing up. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Feet can be on the ground. Try not to arch too much through that lower back. Good. Keep going. Good job, Crystal. Crystal's using some 20s here. Really challenging yourself. And rest. Right into our tabletop row or our renegade row, whichever you're working with. Stacking those shoulders over your wrists, hips over knees, driving those dumbbells and the elbows back towards your hips. Core stays in, nice and strong here. You don't want to sink through that lower back. Really bringing that shoulder back, squeezing that shoulder blade. Working our back muscles here. Good. Make sure you're breathing. And rest. Now that our upper body is more fatigued, coming into our vertical press, our shoulders. So our back, we're pulling that weight towards us. And then now we're pushing the weight away from us. So that's where you hear that term push-pull. Good job. Keep that core nice and tight. Shoulders are definitely getting fatigued. We're halfway through. Woo! 2 more exercises after this. 10 seconds. Shoulders are on fire. 5 seconds. I'm gonna try to get 2 more pushes in. Last one, and rest. All right. Up on our feet for our sumo squat. Depending how your body feels, your legs might feel very fatigued at this point. You don't have to use weight, but definitely make sure you're challenging yourself. Nice wide legs. Good. Sinking down nice and low. Make sure you're breathing. We have 30 seconds left here. Halfway through. 1 exercise to go. Good job. 10 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the weight. 15 seconds to get into our plank. You're able to do modified high plank, forearm plank, bear holds, whatever is going to really help you challenge that core. All right, and 40 seconds here, last exercise. Good job. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Heart rate's up, nice and high here. You have 10 seconds left, all the way to the end. Yourself. Job. Grab a sip of water. Stay on your mat. We're gonna stretch. We're gonna connect our breath, and we're gonna have a wonderful Saturday. All right. Let's extend those legs nice and long. Reach your arms up, find some length. And with our exhale breath, we're gonna hinge forward, grab for your toes, your ankles, maybe just your shins, whatever feels accessible. Find that stretch to the back of the legs, maybe feeling this all the way up the lower back. Start to connect back in with your breath. Slow it down. Really accentuate and elongate that exhale breath. A nice deep inhale and slow exhale. Good. Come back up to center. Leave your right leg extended. Sole the left foot to the inner right thigh. We're going to square our hips, so turning your hips so that they're facing that right leg. And we're folding forward. Again, just grabbing for either your shin, your ankle, your toes, the side of your foot, whatever feels accessible for you here. Still connecting in with that breath. Good. Coming back up to center, keeping your legs where they are, the left hand coming down behind that left leg, or you're coming all the way down on your forearm, reaching your right arm up and over, nice deep stretch all the way down the side body. Really reach those right fingertips over to the left, turn your chest so it's opening to the ceiling. Good job. Coming back up to center, let's switch legs, extend that left leg, sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Take that moment to square your hips to your left leg, and then you're gonna fold. Slow down the breath. This is that time to get out of our sympathetic state. Exercise still that stressor. We wanna flip back into that parasympathetic state. We wanna ease out of that cortisol or our stress response, and we wanna come back into that very balanced nervous system state. Coming back up to center, right hand behind the right leg or right forearm down, reaching the left arm up and over. Turn your chest so it's open. Reach those left fingertips to the right. Good job. Come back to center. Come into butterfly, sole of the feet together, knees out to the side. If you have really tight hips, you can walk the feet away. If you want more of a deep hip opener, bring those heels nice and close to your body. And we're gonna hold here just for a moment. Let the shoulders relax. And then maybe hinging slightly forward, keeping that spine straight. Don't allow it to round. This is just a tiny little movement to deepen into the hips. Feeling a nice stretch to the inner thighs after we've done those sumo squats. Slow the breath. I really want you to connect into that breath. Good job. Coming back to center, come into any comfortable seat. Reach the right arm across the chest, hook it in with your left. Let's stretch through those shoulders. And switching sides. Good job. Interlace the fingers or just grab for the hands behind the back. Let's stretch through the chest. Lift that chest up, maybe arch the back slightly. You can lift your gaze. And then let's flip our hands to the front, interlace, press the palms away, allow the back to round, scoop your belly in. And maybe your chin just gently wants to tuck into the chest. Good, coming back to center, roll those shoulders a few times. And then let's just connect a little bit deeper to our breath. Inhale, reach your arms up, palms come together. And as we slowly exhale, let's bring those palms down. One more time, deep breath in. Slow breath out. You can even exhale with a sigh, let go of any tension. I hope you guys enjoyed this workout.